cries against homosexuality as a way of life.
Yes, I know the one you mean. It's the best speech in the play.
There's a coarseness, a deadening coarseness in the experience of most homosexuals. The experiences are quick and hard and brutal, and the pattern of them is practically unchanging. Their act of love is like the painful jabbing of a hypodermic needle to which they're addicted, but which is more and more empty of real interest and surprise.
Yes. I think any kind of promiscuity, be it heterosexual or homosexual, is a distortion of the love impulse.
This boy I picked up tonight, the kid from the tall corn country, still has the capacity for being surprised by what he sees, hears, and feels in this kingdom of earth. All the way up the canyon to my place, he kept saying, "I can't believe it. I'm here. I've come to the Pacific, the world's greatest ocean." As if because he found it himself, it existed now, for the first time. Never before. And this excitement of his reminded me of my having lost the ability to say, "My God," instead of just, "Oh well."
In the 70s and early 80s, Williams wrote 9 full-length plays. He wrote one-acts, revisions of earlier work, stories, poems, memoirs, essays, a new novel. The critical and commercial and popular success of his prime years eluded him, but his work continued to be his life.
The only honor you can confer upon a writer is a good morning's work, in my opinion.
There are flashes of Tennessee, of the best of Tennessee in all of them. I think he'd be incapable of writing a totally bad piece.
You miss that good, lean, hungry language that he was capable of early on in his career, and the clean actions.
When people say everything Tennessee did was a masterpiece, it makes me feel that they don't appreciate the masterpieces.
The bird was so adaptable that had he not decided to ingest all of those barbiturates and alcohol, he could have kept right on going to the end and dominating the theater.
It doesn't make much sense, life, you know? And so, you give it some sort of meaning by creative work. Brightening process, that terror of the white page in the typewriter. The fear that they cannot deface it respectably.
Playwright Tennessee Williams, who was found dead today in a New York hotel room at the age of 71. Many consider him America's greatest playwright.
I think Williams had a tragic sense of life, which implies that ultimately what we have to face is our own death. That's the abyss we look into.
And he had this funny thing in his head about time. He said, every minute is goodbye.
He was a phoenix. He just came in the midst of all this mediocrity, all this drabness. There he was.
He made us look at things that audiences would not normally want to look at. And I think in that sense, he's done the American theater a great favor.
No one in our theater has created a world of people to compare with Tennessee's. Characters who will live in our memories and our imaginations as long as we live. Blanche and Stanley Kowalski.
My place is all cleared up now. You want me to clear yours?
Laura, the Glass Menagerie, and her gentleman caller.
Oh, be careful. If you breathe, it breaks.
Serafina and Mangiocavallo, her truck driver with a rose tattooed on his chest. Alma of Summer and Smoke.
My name is Alma. That is Spanish for soul.
What's yours?
Val of the snakeskin jacket and Lady Torrance.
My temperature is always a couple of degrees above normal, same as the dog's.
Baby doll, who wasn't ready for marriage, and Archie Lee Meehan, who was.
I'm moving to the Cotton King Hotel. The very next time you try to break our agreement, the very next time!
Big Daddy.
You know what I'm contemplating?
What's that, sir?
Pleasure.
Chance Wayne,
Oh,
and the Princess
you.
Cosmonopolis.
I don't remember your face, but your hands are familiar.
Do you remember them?
Elia Kazan didn't attend Tennessee's memorial services. He said he couldn't take a lot of people showing off their grief. But he did write something to be read there. Ever since Tennessee died, I've been hearing nothing but how unhappy his life was. Of course, his powers declined as he went through his 60s. Tennessee was poet enough to accept that. The man lived a life of the most profound